Yes, if it's Wednesday, it is Biztalk Nightcap, the time when we talk business as you are about to go to bed. Tyler Riggs here. This is where you introduce yourselves.
I have a mouthful of granola, Jason.
Always a good thing to do when about to go live on the radio.
You didn't warn us.
I'm Benjamin Gaines.
Welcome, Ben.
Yeah, welcome,
We didn't
Ben.
think you were going to make it tonight.
I was sad.
Ben, you said you've had a day. Tell us about your day. What grind? And then tonight's topic is things that grind your gears.
That really grinds my gears.
Oh man.
So to the extent that you can do so without getting fired, what grinds your gears today?
Well, you know what grinds my gears today. I'm trying to think of a time that I have ever asked someone to drop what they were doing to solve a problem for me, and I'm sure it's happened plenty. But today I was asked on two separate occasions to cancel meetings that I had, to cancel things that are important and strategic, in my opinion, to get on phone calls that to provide information for people.
Was it a sales guy that was asking you to get on phone calls?
So that in and of itself is not a problem, and that happens all the time. But
it grinds my gears.
Sorry,
I don't want to derail you.
No. I mean, I want to hear your experiences with it. But what grinds my gears, and Ty knows this because I frequently complain to him. Or it's not. I do frequently complain to him, but I will often go to Ty and say, "Hey, am I way off base that this is like a crazy thing that I'm being asked to do?" And
you sent me one today though that was like, "Whoa, are you serious, Chuck?"
Yeah. I mean, I had someone. Well, I don't know where the line is between what I should and shouldn't say, but suffice it to say, if you're asking someone to take their time on short notice and join a call to bail you out of a situation, you need to ask really nicely, and I think, recognize. I would have appreciated a little recognition that it was an unusual request, and it was a stressful request, frankly. I was being asked to get on a call with a president of a division of a major retailer on less than like 18 hours notice on a topic that I am not super familiar with. And the manner of asking, I think, is what ground my gears, honestly.
Oh yeah. So let me put it into a hypothetical so that you don't have to have your hands dirty on this one.
Should we call it a thetical?
If it is 4:55 p.m. and you're about to clock out, and someone comes to you and says, "Hey, I don't have time for this. I have to do stuff. I've got to go somewhere. But I need you to do something first thing tomorrow morning for me," and leave little to no context over it. And it's not necessarily your job. And I'm a big it's not my job isn't a good response, but it's not your job to do this thing that's being asked of you. But the burden is being thrown over the fence, as Relax Me says. The lack of planning on your part is not an emergency on my part. That's the old saying.
I saw that comment, and I do have to say, in defense of, I think, both people who were asking me, I don't think these were situations where So first of all, that maxim, totally agree with it, and I'm gonna adopt that, because there are plenty of situations where we're all asked to do things. And you can tell that it's because someone didn't do their job, didn't plan, didn't prepare, and so we're asked to come in and bail them out. I don't think this was quite that. In the defense of the people who were asking me to do things, I think they were getting some pressure from some customers, and maybe didn't know what to do. I don't think it was that they necessarily were sitting on their hands and then things blew up, or that they And both of these were topics that were pretty technical, probably go beyond what I would expect them to know, to be fair. But I think the point is well taken that like putting all of that burden on someone else without really being considerate or, I don't know. I, as a product person, what bothered me the most, I think, is just that there was like, we need our people who are customer facing to be kind of liaisons between the product team and the engineering teams on one hand and customers on the other hand. And, of course, like we're always happy to talk to customers, but the demand that we, drop what we're doing on, 6 hours notice or whatever it was, is a little much, and I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of going back to these customers and saying, "Hey, look, our product team is slammed. Would it be all right if we did this call next week or Friday, even, rather than having basically already promised it to these customers, and then I've got to drop what I'm doing." Last thing I'll say, and then I want to hear what grinds you all's ears. Is that Tyler took the topic that I brought for tonight. You actually used the phrase that I wanted to talk about, and it wasn't in the context of my situation tonight. So I want to come back to it. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you know which phrase I'm talking about, but we'll get there when it's time to go through our issues or our topics.
This is our topics.
What grinds your gears, Jason, or Ty?
I think I need to take my shirt off.
Sure. Yeah. I was thinking that actually.
It's seriously washing out. I don't understand what's happening here with my lighting, and it's really disturbing me.
Are we all?
You need a fill light.
Is that what it is? Yeah, we should all.
You have a key light in your monitor, and you need a fill light.
We should all take our shirts off.
Well, let's not do that. I have a topic, and
I'm seriously gonna. I have a shirt on underneath.
As we welcome Ann, Alan, and Bob to the chat, we appreciate the company, and as everyone knows, we do this for the company. I deleted Outlook and Slack from my work phone this week, and I'm curious for thoughts on this because I did it.
Do you have two separate phones?
No, no, I have one phone, but I'm thinking of a second. But so the whole thing, when you have a work phone, the unspoken rule, or in some cases maybe the actual rule, is if work pays for your phone, you need to be available. You need to answer it.
No.
But to me, like if someone calls, like if my boss calls me at 9 p.m., I'm going to answer it.
No.
Because I'm throwing out my personal.
All right.
Like this is all a matter of set your bounds.
We need to respect that Ty is in a very different role, and I continue to be amazed at how unexpected certain things like this are about the sales role. But go ahead.
My boss doesn't bother me every night. Like he's usually at 5 o'clock. He's a family man. He's a good man, and he's not like blowing up my phone at all hours. So if he calls at 9, that means there's something that is needed. I would answer a phone call. What really triggered me last night was I received an email from a coworker. It was sent to a few people, but it was asking a question. This was at like 9:30 p.m. my time. And like 30 minutes later, someone else who had received it sent a response. And then they were like calling me into it. They're like, "Tyler, what do you think?" And it's like every time that it's the opposite of a hit of dopamine when that comes in. It's like, oh crap, do I need to be responding to this? Or people like up working thinking, and even though I'm not going to respond to it, I don't respond to emails like after hours. And if I send emails, I'm using Outlook send later feature. That's me. I still can't help when that notification pops in, be like, am I not doing something? Like, am I looking bad? That whole thing. So I just deleted Outlook and Slack. And I said to myself, when we have to start traveling again and I actually need Outlook or Slack on my phone because I'm mobile and I'm out and about and I need to be able to look at my calendar and see emails on the fly, I'll bring them back. But for now, anytime I'm working, like actually actively working, I'm going to be near or in front of the computer, which has all that stuff on it. I don't need this on my phone. And so I deleted it. and I think that's okay.
I agree. Did you try turning the notifications off first?
No, that stuff doesn't work because you still
Okay.
see them. I turn notifications off for my group text that I have with you guys.
Well, shit.
But that's just because there were so many. There's so many messages. The ding ding ding. It was the same thing. Actually, it's the same
like
thing.
5 or 6 a day.
No.
I'm not going to lie to you, Jason. I have the notifications off on the group text also.
Because
Any group text period, I think I have the notifications off.
if that snowball gets rolling and it's
Man.
if I'm working out and there's like ding 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 ding
It
ding.
pisses you off. If I'm on the treadmill and I'm watching a show and I start getting all the messages, I get like, I rage.
Relax Me says, I don't have work apps on my phone. In my experience, people behave according to our expectations and patterns over time. If we show them what we value our time, or we show them that we value our time, we set a new precedent. Things only happen that we consent to on some level.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we're constantly responding late at night and that becomes accepted, or just any hours, like I don't know about Ty. So and this is why I'm going to bring up my issue is going to be a sales related issue because I really don't know what goes on in that world, but I just have a hard time believing that really anything that we do is that critical, that if I don't respond like in an hour or two, the whole world's going to burn down. Like, I'm not doing anything that important.
For sure, nothing's going to burn down. It's the passive thing in the back of my mind, and I would guess other people's minds, that you need to be keeping up with the Joneses by responding. And I'm just like, I can't have this.
Can
Yeah,
you
fair
think
enough.
of any case in your career where that wasn't true, where responding immediately really did make a difference in a, like particularly after work, in the evening or in the morning or whatever?
I will say that
I can think of one case.
I can think of one.
What do you got,
it's for me. It's usually mega threads, like there's many people on, and if you don't respond, like you're just getting lost in the shuffle. And so,
Yeah.
But in terms of actual impact on customers, no.
I think this is probably 12 years ago, 10 years ago. One of the consultants on my team launched something through a tag management solution, and it took down the customer's website.
That'll do it.
And I mean, that's one of those things where, okay, like that could potentially cost a tremendous amount of money. And I
It
think
sounds like
that's
an oversight.
I'm not going to name names. But that's one of those rare occasions where I can see that being the case. It's like, okay, we need to raise the alarms and get someone up that can figure out what's going on. But I mean, maybe one or two over like a 15, 16 year career in analytics that it's like been critical.
The only one I can think of, and who's in our audience? Do we have mostly digital analytics folks? I think.
Bob's a fourth grader, but other than that,
All right. So the issue that we had, I think I can talk about this. A year ago, it was almost exactly a year ago with Adobe Analytics, where we had a major latency event, and that affected affected a lot of our customers. That was happening in real time. Have to get communications out. Like, it's affecting enough people that that was like drop what you're doing. Send the kids to grandma's house because you need to strap in and get this done. That's the only, and like that developed over email, and that's the only example I can think of where something really felt like it couldn't wait until the next morning, and everything else was subservient to it.
Yeah. And I mean, I think in those cases, Ty's saying phone call. I think a text is fine. I mean, I don't think that should be those alarms should be raised through email or Slack, and I think having those off of your phone is perfectly fine, and you're still reachable, right? Like
Right. My phone is available.
Yeah.
If things really hit the fan, text me or call me
yeah,
if it's
and
urgent.
that's the way it should be. I think that's perfectly
That's all I'm
fine.
saying.
How long have you had the apps removed? Just today?
Yeah, it was about last night. About this
Okay.
time last night.
Well, I'll be interested to hear in a week or two what you think, what your overall mental state is after making this change.
So the question is, do you need to communicate to people that, hey, I'm not going to be available by email
No,
in
No,
the evening?
no.
there should be no expectation that is there.
Should I write a LinkedIn think piece?
You should.
With multiple line breaks.
I think at least 15 line breaks are called for with this one. Yeah.
No, I don't. I honestly like. I know you probably will write one. Personally, I don't know that I would, just because.
I don't want my senior director seeing it and asking questions.
A little bit of that, honestly. Like, if we're being honest, playing the game, like, I think you can get away with being offline outside of work hours, but calling attention to it seems like the benefit is pretty minimal. Other than, I mean, I guess there's something to be said for, like, maybe you inspire some other people to take similar steps for their mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we're kind of mocking the LinkedIn post, but I've really been trying to talk more transparent and openly about some of these things on LinkedIn and on Twitter. And I will tell you, I get at least 1 or 2 messages a day from people who are texting me or direct messaging me saying, thank you for putting that out there. I can't comment on it publicly. Maybe this is to your point, Ben, but it makes me feel good that people are talking about this because these are important topics, and I appreciate it. So I do think, there's a need for people that are willing to have a voice to talk about some of these things. And I think it does inspire and push people to make some changes. So, I mean, if you feel comfortable writing about it, I definitely think there's a needed or an intended audience out there that would consume it.
All right. Sorry, someone. I'm just checking tweets to see if there's anyone tweeting about our program. And there's not.
How dare they?
Yeah,
someone said.
they probably have us.
Someone says, "Is there a guitar Twitter? Who follows me really into guitar?" So I'm tagging Randy's Witch.
Randy's Witch. I mean, master guitar builder. All of a sudden,
Doing great stuff there.
it's awesome. It's actually
Sure.
pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what grinds my gears, and hopefully I'm able to ride that way. The first time I'm really worried about it is those times that I ride the edge, like I leave the office, but I still kind of want to be connected to the pulse, i.e. Friday afternoon, go out on the golf course. That's when I'm worried about, like, not having because I check emails and send them and whatnot. We're going to see how it works. We're going to see how it works.
Yeah.
Jason, what grinds your gears?
I'm interested more in your thoughts, and Ben, I want you to keep an open mind as I talk through this, and I don't want you to go to the Ben mode, because what I'm going to complain about, you like to be the recipient of.
Is the Ben mode a thing? Is that a thing that people say?
No. Maybe we should start it now, but
there goes Ben. He just went Ben mode again.
That went full on. I'm in Ben mode. I can't do this anymore. But you're the recipient of what grinds my gears, and you enjoy it. And so I want you to take a step back from the fact that you enjoy the fruits of why I think this happens. Okay.
I'm dying to hear what this is going to be.
I think that, and Ty, this is not a condemnation of you, or a study of how Ty works in this space, but I have a strong belief that the majority of sales executives in the MarTech space are some of the most lazy humans on the planet. And the reason I say that is that the software is so good at the top that they don't have to put in the extra hard work to really know what they're selling inside and out. And because of that, and especially at close time, they like to lob these phone calls over, Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Can you jump on a plane in the morning and go over to San Diego for this half-hour meeting that we're going to meet with in case they want to talk about X, Y, and Z and I can't answer? I'm like, there's no reason why, having been in this space for 12 years, dude, that you can't answer that question. You're just being lazy. And you're being lazy because this software is selling itself. That grinds my gears.
Open mind, and you're right. I do generally enjoy being brought into those things for a variety of reasons. One, I'll admit it. I like a free trip someplace, nice meal.
You're the recipient of this a lot.
Get out of the routine.
But it's a bit different from you. I mean, you bring the weight of being a product manager, not necessarily that's me, right?
So I had lunch today with my former senior director, Chris Wareham, who I think you all know. The three of us at least know him. And he mentioned that he was kind of lurking on Twitter and he saw our conversation from Saturday. And he said, he doesn't like to wade into these things publicly, but he thought that we were all missing the point. And I thought
what conversation?
Kind of an interesting take that I had never. What is that face?
Well, I don't know what conversation you're talking about.
Oh, well, so I thought this grinding of gears was grown out of the. So we at least you and I were involved in a conversation on Saturday morning with Blair Reeves and Randy. About this very topic. Of getting dragged out to, I think, Baltimore. For some reason, we picked on Baltimore. It's like a place that you don't want to go. But Chris made what I thought was a really good point that would never have occurred to me, and this is part of why I love Chris. But he said a lot of why that happens, a lot of why we get dragged out to these meetings to not really contribute or to say one thing and answer a question is exactly because of kind of why you hate it, I think, which is that you're going into the sales situation. Maybe there's an executive on the customer side who's going to drop in on the meeting for half an hour, and to show that person that the whole bus is there, that because that executive is involved, we dragged out a senior director of product management. We brought in a VP of consulting or whatever it is. In Chris's view, that helps win deals.
I do not. I 100% agree.
I know you do.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't have. It
hadn't occurred to me that it was like that because people complain about. There's this term. Hopefully I'm not violating any, or not leaking something out that is private. But there's this term, the Adobe bus. Like Adobe will roll in with 25 people on the Adobe side and 3 people on the client side sometimes.
I've been there.
It seems really wasteful, and sometimes it goes really poorly. But a lot of the time, for impressing that executive and giving the impression that wow, these guys want our business enough that they brought out all of these heavy hitters from Adobe, it makes a difference.
No, I 100% agree. If you're deliberately putting on a show and you're choreographing this as a move to really show them that you're dedicated, I don't have a problem with that. Okay. It works. It shows it. It gives them the show that you're looking for, and I'm completely fine with that. What I'm more frustrated with, and I'm open to being completely wrong. If I'm being completely unfair, I'm happy to admit that. I don't know what happens in the sales world, but from the outside looking in, I just feel that in a lot of cases the software is extremely good, and it's almost like we just don't want the sales guys to screw it up. And when they're begging and pleading for someone to show up to answer some fairly junior questions, that concerns me and that bothers me, because I think that those are things that had they gone to the gym, quote unquote, and done the workouts and prepped, that they shouldn't have any problem answering. But they're not. And here's my point. And again, I'm interested in your pushback on it. They're not forced to put in that extra work to practice hard, because the software is, again, at the very top, so good that they can get away with not really putting in the time to be able to speak more eloquently about it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like uh, in my I have to be careful here. Uh, yeah, I think there's some
What?
truth. I think there's some truth to what you're saying.
Okay.
I don't. There certainly have been times that I've been dragged in. It's less. I can't think of a case where I was like dragged on site. And thanks, Eli. That's great. Uh, the I can't think of a time that I was dragged on site where there are times that I've been dragged on site where the agenda was just a mismatch, and it was like, hey, we need. I mean, it's probably more the example that Chris was talking about, where we want to have a product person there to show them that we're dedicated and that they matter to us. I can't think of a case where I was dragged out to answer, um, what is a page view, or like
Yeah.
something really really elementary. But I do frequently get dragged into those on phone calls, both before and during the pandemic. And yeah, I mean that's what um, that's what makes me mad. There's a small group of us, a little trio of us who monitor a Slack channel where salespeople are asking questions, and a lot of them are just. It's obvious that they haven't done any research.
Yeah.
They haven't applied themselves at all to learning the product, and they're expecting us to come in and give them answers. They're copying and pasting something that a customer's emailed them, and we sit there and make
It's the
fun
worst.
of. I mean,
Yeah.
like if anyone watching knows the Slack channel I'm talking about, bring your A game. Like, you better have done your research, and you better not just be copying and pasting something a customer sent you, because there is a group of us that will be making fun of not you personally, but at least of your question.
Yeah. All right. Ty, what do you think? I mean, you're being quiet here. This is your world.
I just I take offense to all notions that salespeople are lazy. Some,
I think he's kidding.
What, I think your cat was attacking the wall just a second ago.
Oh, there's the other cat in here.
No.
Maggie, are you there?
I
Maggie,
don't. I actually
Maggie.
don't think salespeople are lazy. I think they're tremendously hardworking in certain ways.
Yeah, and being saying lazy is completely unfair. Lazy in this realm, like, yeah, absolutely, they're
Yeah.
incredibly hardworking. They're
and
focused.
they like for as much as we make fun of like the dumb salesperson, there is a type of intelligence that they have that I don't have, that I wish I had. A charisma, a charm, like I feel like that's a type of intelligence that's uh, remunerative. Like, you can get paid and do really well, do better than I do
I
for having that
I
type of intelligence.
I
Is on camera.
agree. It's a good looking cat.
Hey, Brez.
I agree. However, I strongly feel that model is on its way out. Um, and maybe not completely, but buyers that I talk to, they're kind of tired of the smooth talking sales guy. They're okay with the smooth talking sales guy as long as they bring some intelligence about what it is that they're selling, and they're going to teach them something, and they're going to have an actual conversation.
POV.
Maybe that's a bit naive, and I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was on Twitter, where it's like, no, we're still going to close deals on the golf course and in the bar, and that's how it's going to be. Maybe that's the case, but
Private jet.
I think in the general sense, just having the charisma at some point in time isn't going to be enough. And if not that, again, I think buyers' tastes in how they want to
Yeah.
interact with sales is changing.
Well, I mean, that's a thing. There's at least in software, and we're in the absence of a guest, we're obviously going to skew towards software because that's what we know as a business. But there's this trend toward product-led growth, and that is even being supplanted. So the way the story goes is that the last 20 years or so has been dominated by um, sales-led growth, where you're basically the model you're talking about. It's fun to watch Tyler play with this cat here while we're doing this.
Tyler's wearing shorts this whole
Where
time.
the it's a sales-led model where sales guys are going to executives, and they're making their big pitch, and executives are kind of top-down mandating that the organization is going to adopt this software package, and that is being disrupted or supplanted by um, free trials, freemium models.
Mm-hmm.
You get one person in the company who, goes and installs the software, or signs up for the software. Two people install it. They start evangelizing it to other people. It grows organically within the company, and it's, instead of being top down from the executive, it's bottoms up from, think about Slack at most organizations. Few teams started using it.
Yeah.
It grew and grew until the organization had to have it. It was ubiquitous by that point, and the executive doesn't really have a say.
Like
The
herpes.
people are using it, and
I
that's
like
what they're going to do.
I like Ty's little snide comments here on the.
What is he saying? What is he saying?
He said like herpes.
Yeah.
That's what that also is what grinds Tyler's gears. That you have these companies and you have 2 or 3 people that install something, and then that vendor says, "Oh, we have 87,000 clients that have our software."
Yeah, I mean,
installed.
it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna throw all those logos on our website.
Right.
Yeah.
The number of teams at Adobe that use some tiny analytics product because 2 people
Right.
didn't know that Adobe Analytics exists, and so they went and installed it for free. Like literally, I mean, like in a company of 25,000 people, that's going to happen.
That can't happen though. That can't be a thing.
For sure.
Really?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's disheartening.
I don't know everything that's in Creative Cloud. Like I can probably guess that if it's,
you could guess Photoshop's in it though. I bet.
Yeah, but anyway, whatever.
Fair enough.
So anyway, so that what you're talking about is, some people use Cloud App, and suddenly Adobe is all up on Cloud App.
Do they have the right to throw that logo up there?
It's in there. It's in their terms of service.
Oh, that was sleazy.
Hey, we got a new follower. Look at the zombie popped up.
Yay!
Rajan Senior.
Good job with your integration into Twitch, man.
Hey,
That's
we're
good stuff.
progressing things along here weekly. So if you follow, you'll get a mention on the screen with a little zombie that's like, "Whoa."
Zombie's cool.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Where were we at? Or because we're gonna do a shorter show tonight because we don't have a guest.
And
we're already up to 30 minutes though. That
was energized. We came out hot.
Yeah, but you guys lose your fuel pretty quick though.
That's true. I'm ready for bed.
I've been on calls since about 8 this morning with a few breaks in between. I have not had a shower. I have not gotten out of my pajamas. My hair is a mess. Some days this happens,
Yeah. There's definitely one of those days for me.
So,
what do you use for a microphone, Ben?
Nothing.
I can tell.
I have a. What's that? What did he say?
he said he could tell.
Might be time to break out the MasterCard and invest.
We So I have somewhere, I think in my desk, I have a what's that? The USB mic that everyone has.
The snowball. The one. This one. The blue mic.
Blue. Yeah, I think I've got.
I think that's what we're both using.
Yeah.
I found that it was like the connection was inconsistent on video conference, so my camera, I have an external camera that sits on top of my monitor. It has at least a decent microphone for a camera, but I'm not, you guys are like recording podcasts and stuff. I'm just doing Zoom, so it's not, I don't care that much. So that's my deal.
Fair enough.
Give the blue mic another try.
It's a good mic.
Maybe. See if I can find it.
Next thing you know, he's gonna have a green screen. He's gonna just have all the lighting. We don't know what's gonna go on.
The green screen is overrated.
You have a green screen.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Why not?
Too much effort. Too much going on with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, just too much.
I hear you. Yeah, it's too much for me. I don't. Whatever's in the background's in the background.
Well, we will probably be wrapping up here soon. Not sure what the status is for next week. Tomorrow we're going to discuss. The three of us are actually, to make everyone jealous, we're going to have sushi at the finest sushi restaurant in Utah,
Looking forward to that.
which is sushi buffet in Bluffdale.
Bluffdale.
Where
Ben
you get
knows.
more, you get more value for your money there than anywhere.
They cheer Ben when he
That
walks
is
in.
a wonderful inside joke. Actually, not that inside, but a lot of people on the stream won't get that one.
They have the finest itame, which you may not know is Japanese for sushi chef.
I actually didn't know that until you told me.
But we are going to Takashi, thank you. I have every intention of ordering the omakase, and I can't wait.
I'm gonna do whatever Ben tells me to do. So
I think we should all just have the omakase, take a culinary journey together.
I mean, I'm up for it. Ben's a bit more specific sometimes, and I'm okay with going along with that.
I think we should trick Ben into drinking sake.
We'll see. No one wants to hear us talk about our sushi order.
Fair enough.
This is
I didn't hear a no. Did you get the blue mic out?
He did.
Yeah, I need to find a USB cord for it. I thought I had one, but I don't have one in this desk, so I got to go upstairs and get one.
All right.
So next week we may not broadcast because we'll be down a host. Is that what you're saying? Maybe we need a guest host or just a guest. I mean, are you saying that we need Ben to carry the conversation? I mean,
No.
I don't disagree.
I will not be offended if you proceed without me for a week.
It's more a function of doing this every week is taxing, and it's nice weather outside. You might go out on the golf course and have a few cold ones. And
Yeah, but Tyler,
Might not make it hard.
in order to make these things go, you need consistency, and you take this 1 week off and see how nice it is, and then you start making concessions every week. We're gonna have a problem here, man. So
okay,
yeah,
all right.
I got to keep you honest on this.
Well, we did have Relax Me she didn't volunteer. She was asked about being a guest host, and I think she said she would do that. So perhaps we go down that path. Maybe we get a yes or no. Tyler venturing out, exciting. Bob, you've seen me like out on the golf course 300 times this spring so far. So I golf with Bob sometimes, but it's usually me golfing and him sitting in the cart playing on his cell phone. So
Smart.
okay, we'll see what happens
All right.
next week. Biztalk
Sounds
Nightcap
good.
goes fishing next week at Sushi tomorrow. We
Nice.
will maybe put together a PowerPoint with our sushi.
Ben saying no.
Okay.
Ben
Well,
saying cut it.
so we'll see what happens next week. We do thank everyone for joining us here for a few things that grind our gears. Maybe you can let us know what grinds your gears at Biztalk Nightcap on Twitter. Make sure you're following on Twitch. If you need to share this with a friend later on, you can do so on YouTube. We're on all the channels. We are ubiquitous. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate Jason and Ben taking the time for this, and mostly all of y'all in the chat. We'll see you all again next week. This is Biztalk Nightcap. Oh, we'll save it. We'll save the big announcement for later on. Sponsor.
Wow.
We have something related to sponsorship.
Wow. Jeez. Next
Well,
level.
how's that for a tease?
That is a teaser and a half. All right.
Peace.
Bye.